Hello friends, welcome. In today's video we're gonna look at test 102 and let's create a new file, then I'll explain what we're doing. Hopefully you guys are doing well and it is always good to have you. Just so you know, do you remember when we had a describe block in our first video? When we had, do you see it doesn't even tell us to describe. What? Right, so we're gonna make, or if you write cy, do you see it always shows up crypto, right? So we need to get around that. I don't like that. So, which is why we're gonna enable, let's put a note here, enable intellisense so that VS Code can pick up Cypress code easily. Now, you just have to add triple slash and then add less than sign, and then you're going to say reference types, and then that's going to be equal to just Cypress, and then you're just going to close it just like you close an HTML block, and there you go. And now let's try to plug in CY. Bam, you see it. Let's try to plug in DES. Bam, there you go. So we're going to start off with describe. There you go. Now, here, let's say this is test 102, and then we're going to test two keywords. So let's say search two keywords. And in this video, we're going to learn about contains method and learn about what technology we're using. So I'm going to also add another note here. So that's for that one. We can add a note. Let me add it on top of it. And do you guys know what Mocha is? So look it up, and then is included inside Cypress. So we're using Mocha actually. Put it in Cypress code. Or you can say it's embedded within Cypress installation. All right. So check Mocha out. You can go to its website, and then we're gonna do two things. Let's add our parameter right here. I was like, where is our arrow function? And then we're gonna, so let's put this as the main body, just like we did in the previous video. And then we're also gonna use another keyword right here. And check this out. You can also swap that with describe. So I can change this with context. So if you look at the examples, there is context. You can use this keyword as well. Or you can keep it as describe. And I'm going to use context in here, and you will see what it looks like. And it's like a smaller body right here. Let's add first one, test 1, like say search for first keyword, and then second parameter arrow function, and we're going to add our it block, and this is our test case within the context. You don't have to do this, you can just directly start off with an it block, but I'm just showing you there is a way you can do this. Now what search, let's say deal of the day. And then we're going to search this text. And all we have to use CUI dot, let's say, CO contains, and we're going to plug in deal of the day. And now let's go to Amazon website. I already got it open. And you can see the deal of the day is right here. So it's just searching for text. Keep in mind, we didn't get anything inspected. We just look for the text. If it's there or not, we're going to see. And the next word is the text inside this button, sign in securely. Okay, we're going to find that one. And that's going to be our test 2. Now, inside the test 2, let's say search for second keyword, which is, let's read it, sign in securely. Okay. Sign in securely. So we're gonna do CY that contains again. Oops, I just copied that one. And paste this one. And guess what's missing here? Okay, we have our describe block. We have our test case, it blocks within the context. But where is the cy.visit, right? So option 1, you can do cy.visit right here. cy.visit. And then let's do HTTPS. All right. And then if you do it here, you also have to do it right here. Then it's gonna visit it 2 times. So let's try it this way, and then we're gonna come back to use another body right here. We're gonna use before, and the next video we can use before each to see and try to understand the differences between. And let's run our test. So I'm just gonna close this terminal. And let's open the terminal again. And now, you remember in our first video we said npx Cypress open, right? Let's open it and then run our first test. And next up, I will show you also how to write a simple script to store npx Cypress open inside package.json. We're gonna go there next. So let's run test 102. Okay, first loading the page. Don't worry about this get. And it's done with the first one, found deal of the day. And then I'm going to show you how it highlights. There you go. Now, in here, let's see, where is, let me hover over right here. Now you can see there's like too many steps, but you see where our method contains right here. After visit, right there, and all these stuff in and out, and then click this, and then you see that it highlights deal of the day. Easy peasy. Now, that was test 1, and test2, visit the website again, and then find sign in securely, which highlights right here within the button. So easy to do, don't you think? Now, let's do this. I'm going to close this. Let's do press Control C and press yes. So I closed the terminal. I mean the test runner. I'm going to open it again, but let's do this. I mentioned two things. Let's do one step at a time. Let's fix this visit. I just want the page to load once. So in this case, I'm going to add a before. And then let's say visit amazon.com. All right, and then we can add our arrow. And in this one, we just need one of this. And then I'm going to get rid of the other one. So let's just paste it right here. So we don't need this one. So I'm getting rid of that. All right, so we just have one visit. And we're using before. And let's run npx Cypress open. All right, now it's loading. And then next up, I will show you how you can open Cypress test runner using this script. Where is it? Script in Package.json. Okay, let's run the 102. Okay, visiting the page. But it's interesting how much time it took to search for the text. So there are ways to reduce that number, and which is what I will show you in the next future videos. But understand this, we should increase the performance of our code whenever we write code. If you look at it, that's a huge page. There are a lot of stuff here. And if you can reduce it to by using some unique IDs and stuff like that, that make our job potentially better. So I'm just going to close this now because we got that running and working. Now, what I want to show you is, let's close the test and I can show you. Say yes. Now let's open package.json. And optionally, you can add scripts here. And there is test, so I'm going to change this one. So let's get rid of this. Instead of that, why don't I say npx Cypress open? Because this is the keyword that we used. And so if I can show you right here at the bottom, npx Cypress open. So what I did was say test, you're going to be responsible running this command. And how is it going to work? So we're not going to say this, but we're going to say, hey npm, I need you to run a command I store inside test. So let's run test. And there you go. It's executed npx Cypress open for you. So this is another way you can run your test. Of course, there is much more practical ways of doing this. This is just one simple example. But in production environments, of course, you're going to see a lot of these scripting and custom codes, and I will also show them to you in the future videos. Now, let's take a look at 102. This page has a lot of things to load. Our test pass, and it does find. Now, let's also check this one. Okay, that was straightforward. It found this much faster. All right, so do you see this before all? It's running everything just once. So you don't have to load this page again. If you remember, it was 21 seconds in the previous one. Now we reduced it to 16 seconds. Now we're gonna implement more synchronization going to future videos, but 5 seconds difference is okay, but we can do much better than that. All right, let me close this one. Just to recap what we did going backwards, we just implemented a script, a simple script, running the test using npx Cypress open. So how do we run this? Let's add a note right here on top of here. Now let's say run your test. Oh, let's say not run, open Cypress test runner dashboard or whatever, and let's say npm run, and you're gonna put test. And what if, like, let's say you want to put something else here. Let's say, let's put heyo, and instead of test, it's gonna be heyo. And let's try it. Let's close Cypress first. So npm run heyo. Let me make sure it's saved. It's probably saved anyway, but let's run heyo. And there you go. So it's important you put here something that makes sense. Heyo will not make sense for someone who just got to work with you. Now I can close this one. Now let me revert this back to test. Or most people put here Cypress. So how it's gonna look like this? Now npm run Cypress. Now that's more like it, don't you think? Now I want to run Cypress. So how are we gonna do it? npm run, and plug in Cypress right here. And that's it. And then I'll show you more practical examples going forward. But hopefully you understand how you can get your test runner up and running. And there are ways to run your specific test case without having to open the test runner. That's way to go. All right. And then if we look at the describe block, we just have one describe block that contains one before block that saved us 5 seconds in our test. And optionally you can add context block, but you could have just kept it block inside describe. But I just wanted to show you can store more than, say, in this context maybe you can add 5 tests. I'm just exaggerating, but you can add 5 tests here. That's just gonna be within this. But again, is it gonna be logical to run just one website? What if you're working in 2 different websites? What if there are different addresses that you have to visit, right? So then you may not use this before. But if, we can also do, instead of this describe, we can put context. So it's not going to be a problem. So if you looked at the examples, you're going to see, let's open files, and you see context right here. There is before each, and then there's another before each, and then it block. So a lot of times you're going to see different examples and how it's done, and I will try to simplify it for you going forward. Feel free to ask questions, but that will be about it. Thanks for watching.